3, 2, 1. We are back again with our third podcast and our very first special guest, Joseph McGuire, or like we like to call him, guys? Joey. What's up, man? How you been?
Yo,
Good.
How you been, man? How's work?
Oh, love it.
What are you doing, man? Like, I don't even know what you're doing. You gotta explain to me.
I work for Baker Group.
And what is that?
Yeah,
bakes and pies.
They have plumbers, HVAC.
Okay.
Different stuff.
Is it part of the union?
Yeah. It's a company in the union, Local 33.
So
and they have electricians and stuff.
So do you get just like certain jobs and stuff that go on for like weeks at a time, and then you get like a new one and you just like move on?
Yeah, once the job's over with, we go from job to job, not different company, different like job site, you know. But like right now we're working at the PDM precasting plant. They make precast walls.
And
it's pretty cool.
They're building another addition. Does this job pay well?
Eventually. As a helper, pays nice as a helper.
And like, I don't know much about unions, but isn't a part of a union is that sometimes you might have like layoff periods for extended periods of time, or do they pay you when you're on layoff? Like
when you're on layoff, no, they don't pay you. No. You collect what's called unemployment.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think what you're talking about is going on strike. Okay. Right? When the union sometimes can go on strike,
I've just heard of people who like had a couple months where they were like on layoff, like from a union, just because there was no job.
There's no work sometimes. Yeah,
like layoffs and shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, because what was the job that you had before that? That was like some security job. Or no, sorry, no, not the one before, but like a few jobs ago. You had some like security job at a pipeline or something.
Oh yeah. I was security guard for the pipeline.
And you didn't have a gun, right? Like you just had
I did not have
security right there.
I had
a flashlight,
these yellow handcuffs, and we would.
Made out of Play-Doh.
There's some sparkle
to them. They were plastic. They were zip ties. Is basically what they were. Zip ties.
Those things hurt though. They kind of cut into your skin.
Dude,
if you try to struggle,
you can't get out of them.
Handcuffs, some yellow handcuffs. It's a party.
You sure this was a job? This wasn't some like just porn industry kind of stuff. It was kind of freaky.
Did people take you seriously?
I didn't take myself seriously, so no. We were standing inside a fence in a cornfield. Nobody was around. We just had to stand there. We couldn't sit down or anything. We had to stand straight 12 hours straight.
You didn't have mace or anything? Like nothing?
Nothing.
You're like a scarecrow.
And there was this one time, protesters actually ran the fence. Okay, tore the fence down, for goodness sakes, on three of our guards. And that's why they ended up putting up new, better fence. They had barbed wire on the top, and then they ended up putting razor wire. You know what that is? They put three.
That's even worse than barbed wire, except that'll just cut right into you. I mean,
they put 3 levels of it, 3 rolls stacked.
Yeah.
God, man. And people, they went through it, or they just
they didn't come to the fence at all.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
They tore the fence down, and then we built that, or they built.
Oh,
it, right?
Okay. I see what you're saying.
When they rushed the fence, like there were so many protesters. Like there were at least 50.
Did you have to do with them at all? I mean, did you have to like?
I was not there, thankfully. It was like 2 days before I got there.
Oh, okay.
But the protesters, like they would come all the way from the street and line up. They'd go all the way through the forest at night and try sneaking up and climbing.
Oh, so they were even trying to sneak.
They were doing stack. They were also taking video cameras there, and they would zoom in and take videos of us. Like I'm on their YouTube.
Little mercenaries, man. Them guys is just...
And a protester ran over one of our security guards.
What are they protesting?
I'm sure because of the pipeline, right?
The pipeline, I mean...
What did the pipeline affect, if I could...
I mean...
It was an oil one, right?
It can affect. It's what it can affect. You know, first, the main issue, I think... Well, I wouldn't say the main issue, but a big issue is the fact that they took away Indian... I'm sorry.
Oh, the Native American
land.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Native Americans?
Yeah, Native American lands. Okay. Yeah. They went right through them when it was actually Indian. Wasn't it Native American burial grounds?
I'm sure it probably was.
It probably was.
Yeah, I mean, regardless if it was or not, I mean, if it was their land to begin with, I mean, all of America is anyway, and you know,
it is. We keep taking. We say we're gonna give them all this land, and well, their land just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how much like the numbers like have decreased like over the past however many years.
It's crazy to think that civilization is still out there too. I mean, because all we're used to like these cities, like small towns and stuff, but that stuff is still out there.
It's literally like just a nationality that's becoming extinct, and it's crazy. Like that's part of our history. Like it's even before.
That's the stuff that they don't exactly. It's like they don't even throw it at you, because I was going to say they give little bits and pieces, but like they give you a very like minuscule version at times, but it's totally just drawn away from the actual story. Like they'll give you just little bits and pieces that may add into like another story that they're trying to teach you at school, but I mean, overall, they totally blindside you on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like, my 7th great grandpa is Chief Blackhawk, which he led that tribe or whatever, Blackhawk. And that's just kind of cool to have, like, that heritage in your family. Mm-hmm. Like, I always, like, regret not asking my great-grandpa Johnson, because he was more in tune with that, because obviously he's closer to, like, the generation of Chief Blackhawk. So he had like tattoos of like all that stuff, like Indian headdress and stuff, like
that'd be
stuff
cool.
that they wore. And you know, I was just a kid, so I didn't ask him like, you know, what did you learn from like your father and stuff that were closer to like, you know, down the line to Chief Blackhawk. And it's just like if I could go back in time, I would like ask him like what he knows, just to broaden my
what they taught him.
Like, because dude, like Indians. Crazy. They like worship every part of like the animal that they kill. So like a buffalo.
They do. They really do.
Yeah, it's like a buffalo.
Some spiritual people, man.
Yeah, like
you get that peyote rolling in there too.
Like they'll like they'll say like some saying before they end up taking its life.
Joey, I want you to guess how much people can be fed from an average sized buffalo. I want you to take a guess. Last week I asked myself this question.
Yes,
I'm going to say 37. I'm going to say at least 37 people.
37.
For full buffalo.
Is that your final answer?
37. I mean, it could be 50.
A medium sized buffalo, not a big one, not a small one. A medium size. How much do you think? How many people could that big fella feed?
Depending on how big the servings are, I'd say probably about 36 people.
Hit them with it.
200. 200 people.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah,
a medium-sized...
But that just shows you, like, buffalo. The intelligence of, like, them to, like, spread out their food and feed for, like, their whole, you know, community. Like, all the Blackhawks or all the different tribes, like...
Well, just to think how long that meat from that buffalo would last. Because those were more prevalent back in those times too, where like the Native American like tribes and like those kind of colonies, I guess, were larger and they were more spread out and stuff, more prevalent themselves. For how long those buffaloes would have like kept them satisfied with food and stuff. It's just like that would have been. I imagine probably one of the main things that they probably hunted, right?
They probably had like these crazy like hunting techniques to like kill those things. Like, didn't they shoot archery or something?
I'm sure. Well,
like arrows, kind of.
Yeah, if you
like spears.
Yeah, if you throw in the idea of the Apaches,
just
those guys.
How many clothes? How many people they clothed off the one buffalo?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like just the meat.
They probably use that as like a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the rawhide. They'll make rawhide clothes. You know how you see.
But just think about
skin too.
Think about like how agile and like how fast these people would have to be if they had to hunt down buffaloes. Those are huge animals. The risk of you getting stomped out by a buffalo, I'm guessing like 90%. And they like learned how to like craft that.
It's those kinds of people too that they make these like modern day poachers and stuff that go to like African stuff and hunt wild game like illegally. They make them look like just straight up cowards.
Yeah.
Like these poachers are just, they're
big game hunting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people that hide behind a gun and shoot these like innocent animals, something that wouldn't even kill like a giraffe or something?
Mm-hmm. How do you even like obtain that? Like, do you have to prove that you're not like mentally unstable? Like, you're gonna go big game hunt?
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm sure it's probably difficult to get into.
I think it'd be really cool to like go hunting and learn how to hunt. You know, and I've always had a kind of a big interest in hunting. I would say no big hunting. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, the tactics and stuff are interesting to learn about. I mean, just the way that you know, obviously, because I didn't know until I had to have been like closer to like being 10 or something. But as a child, anyway, I learned more about hunting. So I think I was around some people on my dad's side of the family, like they'll hunt and stuff. But I didn't know that like you couldn't be what's it called, like downwind from a deer, because they can smell you. Like their senses are just so like elevated in that sense that they can smell you if you're, you know, the wind's pushing from you to them.
That's great.
Yeah, so I was one of my journeymen told me that if a deer sees you, okay, they'll make a huge circle, okay, but they will always come back to the place they were. But you have to make sure you're up. He told me you have to make sure you're upwind, and you keep going upwind to where they're going. But yeah, they always make a circle and come back. But if they smell your scent, then they won't. It won't come back yet. But they'll wait till your scent's gone until they can't smell you.
Wow, man!
And they'll circle back.
Smart creatures
to their
seriously. But how do they get hit so much if they're so smart? You know, like is that like just a malfunction?
Well, are you talking about like with cars and stuff?
Yeah, like are they attracted? Are they attracted to light or something?
I don't know.
They're like, oh, light, here I come.
Yeah, like just, you know, before they run across.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, bright lights.
I think it's just because they're just trying to go somewhere. Try and get to their family, because you usually see, whenever I drive down the road, I see like a whole bunch of baby deers usually, and you see families crossing, and they're just crossing the road, and people like this one. For one instant, this person was texting and driving, you know, and looked up. Or I'm sorry, they weren't texting and driving; they were switching lanes, and they looked back at their daughter, and looked back, and there was a deer. It could be that. And they like not focusing.
Well, it makes me wonder why the deer don't just choose to wait before the car passes, or if they just haven't had that much experience.
You know, this is like
because they go right before, like the car's like 100 feet away. They're like, all right, I'll go now and just get clobbered.
Much experience.
Yeah, I just
never seen a road.
Doesn't make me say, oh, I don't know what this thing is. I'm going to jump in front of it anyway.
What is this hard stuff I'm walking on? Start seeing them.
They start flopping around and stuff.
Yeah, it's like rut season, so it's like there's much more of them out right now. Mm-hmm. And by my house, you guys both been out to my house, you know, like the dip, like the hill, that first dip, and then you're going up towards Wilder. I saw 6 deer, and it was like still light out, and I saw like a big buck. And it was just like, dude, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's like 6 of them just like, they're just strolling through. Like,
yeah. I don't think a lot of people realize just how dangerous they can be. I mean, not even just the bucks, because I mean the deer themselves have those hooves, and they knock you with those. You know, stand back on their hind legs and
knock you with them. They got power.
They're freaking
in Canada. You know, like
we're worried about product of each other. Like
we're worried about deer, right? Hitting deer. They're worried about hitting moose. You know, like those
more than total your car.
That would crush your car.
Mooses are scary, man.
If you hit their legs, they'll just fall on your car and they'll crush you.
Dude, have you heard those things when they're angry?
I got hit them.
They like charge you.
Did I ever tell you that story? Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, you did. Yes,
in Colorado,
I think you mentioned it, but I don't remember.
So I don't know how old I would have been. I mean, I was probably close to like 10 or 11 or something. But we were out there for my uncle's his wedding. Chris, you know, Chris too.
Chris.
But we were out there for his wedding and stuff, and there's just like this little pond down there, and everyone was just up more the mountain and stuff, and taking pictures of this moose. It was just like drinking out of the pond and stuff, so it was just like a very like peaceful, just nature.
Like
you're taking this like
just
like as a kid, you're like, holy, you know, it's like that's like a big deer, man. That's so cool. And so this thing, I don't know what set it off, but so everyone's taking pictures, and it could have been it wasn't
flash,
dark,
maybe.
It might have been the flash, but it could have been the sounds too we were all making. We were trying to be quiet, but so all of a sudden this thing is like it's going from like, you know, down here drinking its water to it just fell over us. And so that's when everyone kind of like quieted down and they couldn't, kind of started questioning, like, should we start running? And so that thing kind of started to trot toward us a little bit, like you got a little curious. And so that's when I didn't know what to do because I was a kid. And so I told my mom, like, oh, it wouldn't chase us, would it? And so there was this lady behind us. She's like, no, you want to move. I'm assuming she was from around there.
Get away.
So then we started running. I was like, just booking it. And this little kid, just little stub leg.
Did it chase you? Did it end up running?
Oh, yeah. No, it started like trucking uphill. Then we got out of there, though. It stopped eventually.
Dude, I would probably...
Stood its ground, just macho,
I'd probably having like sharts of like poop, just...
There'd be a little seepage for sure.
Oh, yeah.
After that incident.
Oh, yeah. It'd be an explosion, man.
Okay, this isn't as frightening as a moose, but when I was a little kid, you know how you could go to like lakes and they'd have ducks and you could just feed the ducks bread or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, there was this blind duck. I'm not kidding. He was blind. And
I feel bad for the blind duck already.
Because there was like people there and they were saying how he's blind. He had like an orange tag. Whatever, but they were saying how he was blind. I don't know if he was. I was
just saying I'm blind.
I was giving him bread, and I kept giving him bread. He would just stay there, and I stopped giving him bread. And he got really mad and just started chasing me as a little kid. I had to get him.
The blind one did?
Yeah, he was blind. Dude. He just was chasing me because I had a bunch of bread. He was running, and
it's a vicious blind duck.
He was a very vicious blind duck for sure. I didn't know ducks could be so vicious.
Well, I wonder what kind of caused that blindness. Maybe he stared at the sun for too long, got too curious.
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Maybe the water from the reflection from the sun.
Maybe so. Who knows?
Never know. Maybe some punk kid shined a laser in his eyes.
Could have been.
Could
be a tragic story, man. They could make a Pixar movie off that. A lot of those movies have deeper meanings.
Just like ants when they took the magnifying glass and burnt all the ants.
Oh yeah, I did that as a kid. I had no remorse.
It was from the ant's point of view,
Yeah.
I was kind of.
I'd hate to be an ant.
Oh man,
you get stepped on.
All the time.
People ruin your dirt home.
Is that the movie where the ant gets stuck in on gumwad in the dude's shoe?
And the bees die.
Yeah, and they had that war with the Beatles or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That was sad, man. When the ants died.
Yeah. The big
ants are one of those types of creatures that not a lot of people think about. But they're just an intriguing.
Oh, they are so smart. They have their own colony, and they're
so methodical, how they operate and stuff.
And in their tunnels, they design their own tunnels. They have a room for their eggs. They have a room for their queen. They have. If you look it up online. If you guys look it up, you'll see pictures, and they have certain rooms they design.
Well, do you remember those little? Gosh, it was probably about the size of a book and the shape of it too. But they filled it with sand or not? Well, sand, whatever, but dirt or something.
Yeah.
But then you could watch the ants make their burrows and stuff. You remember those little things? There's just glass panels on each side.
An ant farm.
Yeah, little ant farm things.
Yeah, that I wouldn't mind building myself one of those. That'd be kind of cool.
So. If you had a spiritual animal, what would it be?
Spiritual? That's a weird question.
Spiritual.
I always thought it'd be a koala, man.
I've honestly been told I'd be like a saber-toothed tiger. No, I'm just
those are extinct, Joey.
like a gorilla.
A gorilla?
Okay, yeah, Harambe. Yeah, I can see
Harambe.
That. You'd be pounding your chest. You'd be like King Kong, taking over the city. No. What would Dakota be? I already know. I already have.
He already knows.
I have my
answer. Told me this for a long time.
I have the answer.
I just don't see it.
What do you think?
He's going to say something stupid.
I want to know what you think, man. What is his spiritual?
Do you need me to do something? You need me to pose so you can maybe think of this? This is totally off course.
Like an anteater.
Do I have a long snout?
Okay.
Told you to say some dumb shit.
That's kind of on the premises of mine. Wait, are praying mantis insects?
Praying mantis.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he looks like a praying mantis because he's so
Tell me
when he does that little move.
He's methodical though. Like praying mantis are so damn methodical. They just tackle life with such integrity.
They're kind of scary looking.
They are, dude. I don't
like.
What
if they were huge? Like, could you imagine if they were huge, like big? Like, how terrifying!
Do you remember kids had little pet like praying mantises back in elementary school and stuff, and they terrified me.
Dude, those things can fly.
They bite their the females.
They can hurt dogs.
After mating with the male, they bite the male's head off.
And it seems like no matter if you've ever tried to kill one, it seems like no matter how hard you try and kill a praying mantis, they don't freaking die. You ever try to kill one? They don't die. It takes
I've never tried killing a praying mantis.
You ever seen those ones that
they scare the shit out of me? So when I see them, I try and kill them.
Maybe they have a part in this life.
I try killing bees.
I'm not trying to kill you, man. I'm just saying you're very methodical.
You ever seen those
praying mantis?
You ever seen those ones that are red? You ever seen a red praying mantis?
No.
They have like a red tint.
So are they made in hell?
On the wings? Yeah, I've seen those.
They're satanic.
I've seen those.
Maybe it was a dream, but I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure I saw one.
Have you guys ever seen like a locust? Not a cicada. Not a cicada.
I thought they were like the same thing, though.
No, not the same thing.
I've been lying to my whole life. I've been lying to myself.
Locusts, they're pretty weird.
Look at these things' eyes, man. Look at that.
Yeah, that's Dakota.
Yeah, that was my senior picture right there.
Oh my god. Senior picture. He's just peeking at it. Hey! Yeah, you do a lot of like those motions where you like peek around the corner. That's exactly what he does. Like it's just all that like kind of adds together. Like it's no offensive. Like,
his personality is a praying mantis.
Yeah, it's just so like
I don't even know they
jumpy.
have personalities.
I think they do, man.
I gotta learn more about these little creatures because I gotta learn more about myself.
I gotta say the stereotypical person.
Don't all like spiritual animals have like some meaning behind them?
Probably.
I wonder. You know,
I think my your Chinese animal or whatever. I'm pretty sure mine's a rat. Maybe it's a pig. I don't know. Cheese.
That's yeah.
It's nothing to say, man.
Are you looking at a picture right now of it? Or
oh yeah, there's a picture you're gonna have to put in when I mention that. You're gonna. I still have it up, but I'm gonna look what like spiritual animal praying mantis was.
Okay, what would Cole be while he's looking this up? I was gonna move to the next topic here because we're already 22 minutes in, but. We have never figured out what he would be.
We can cut some of it out. We've kind of avoided the topics we were going to talk about.
Your spiritual animal, Cole, is...
I've always wanted to say a horse because of his mane, but...
A horse? Yeah, but it's not... I look at the face. Look at me.
Okay, well, so then when you say I look like a praying mantis, you said it was personality. I don't look like one, though.
No, you kind of had the forehead of praying mantis. Like,
kind of like saying I got a giant arrow.
Like your head, your like goes like
because I got a big brain.
Yes, you have a big brain. You're really smart.
Bro, this definition fits you.
What is it, man? Tell me. I need a life reading.
We gotta put this on there. Like, so usually the praying mantis makes an appearance when we've flooded our lives with so much busyness, activity, or chaos that we can no longer hear the still small voice within us. Taking a step back. And a simple mediation would be in order here because the external din we've created needs to be quieted so that we can come back to our own truth. The mantis always comes to us when we need peace, quiet, and calm in our lives. That's you, man.
That is you.
Because right now I've had a stressful fucking week, but this is like the best day of the week because I'm coming here to do a podcast and we thinking of ideas. And I wouldn't have that without you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that fits you, man.
So I'm a mantis.
That
still leaves the question, what are you? I think he's got to be an ostrich, man.
Look at me.
I don't know. He's got the fluff. He's got the You see what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
He's got the kind of like he's got the on your nose.
Yes, he does. Yes, I see ostrich.
Never have I been so ashamed in my life.
Ostriches are badass though, man.
Ostriches are
dude. They are kind of
big old birds.
They are kind of cool because they like bury their heads.
Remember when we were going to go to those ostrich races?
Yeah, it was really high.
We weren't able to.
Dude, those things probably do some damage. Like just run you over in the street. Just like what if like some freaking
a stampede of
ostriches just got loose from the circus or like the zoo and they're just running the street. Just
they are man-eating birds, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they eat men.
God, I haven't one.
I mean, not like they're meat eaters.
Didn't they?
They can be.
Probably eat rodents and crap, man.
Yeah, rodents.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they like eat. They're not man-eating.
I'm sure if they had the choice, if they saw more humans, they'd be like, "Oh hell yeah, man! I'm gonna have that for dinner."
Yeah. A little baby just crawling through the woods.
Oh, that's messed up, man. Oh god.
Well, wasn't there like
dark?
Wasn't there some like? Wasn't there some?
Why is a baby in the forest to begin with? Why is he crawling through?
Well, why was Tarzan in the forest?
Why is an ostrich?
Nobody asked that question. Why Tarzan was in the forest?
How did this ostrich get to a forest?
Maybe it happened exactly how Tarzan was.
Did he fly?
The airplane crash.
Oh yeah.
Everybody died besides.
That sounds like a good movie plot, man.
The gorillas brought the baby in, clothed them, taught him, trained him.
Wow.
He was a warrior.
We just made a movie right there.
Harambe? Was this Harambe? Is this what you're talking about?
And Harambe comes in and
maybe Harambe is.
You're making the
Tarzan's
connection. He's making the connection with
long distance. My mind is going different ways.
Yeah, man, you're on some other crap right now.
Tarzan.
You got that.
I like that transition right there.
So, Joey, this is kind of going back, but like, what intrigues you about like working at where you work? Like, what do you like? What do you like about it?
I go to work every day. I learn something new. I mean, I like that. I feel accomplished. Like I go home right after learning something. I mean, I'll go home sore and because I work really hard, you know. But when I get home, I think about what I've learned, and I feel accomplished and achieved. And I always feel what I'm liking about it is it's going to be a trade I can take on and bring it in with. I can fix friends.
Do you mean learning as in a sense like you're learning a task or like you're learning a life lesson? Like I'm learning every day.
I'm learning a skill.
Okay,
that's what I love. I've always had the sense of, I don't know if you guys feel this or not, but whenever you like build something or make something, you like get this sense of like accomplishment. And that's what I want. That's what I'm after. Like,
it seems like you're learning a lot of stuff that like you can actually apply to life itself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with plumbing and stuff, I'll be able to, you know, like I plan on building my own house one day, and I might be able to do my own plumbing in it. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
Seems like it's taught you a lot of like different math stuff too. Because sort of asking your Xbox, what's 1/14 divided by 2 of 7?
It's actually what is the decimal? What is a fraction? 1/16
I'm not doing this
converted
anymore.
into a decimal.
You like a mathematician?
No? It's 0.625.
Oh wait, 1/16?
A 16th fraction converted into a decimal is 0.6.
To whip out a calculator, I can tell you that.
0.0625.
Yeah, I'll just rely on my handy dandy calculator.
I've learned how to like, you know, convert in my head. I've learned how to. This is gonna sound really, you know, I struggled with it. It was a common struggle. I struggled with it in school because fractions, adding, multiplying, and dividing fractions, and mental math doesn't really come to me that well. So
could have been more of a physical thing that you needed, like a more hands-on kind of experience. Yeah.
And that's what they're giving me.
That could be how you learn. I mean,
I'm learning so much. I'm applying myself. I feel like if I would have done that in high school more, I bet this could a lot of people could relate to me. I mean, from now, I mean, not applying yourself in school and then getting out and you realize, hey, I'm applying myself now. And I could have done this a long time ago. Mm-hmm. You're applying yourself so much more now than you were before.
It's important to be like repetitive and like what you're doing, and that's like kind of how you learn and like move forward, and that's like it's just continuous repetition. And then like once you start to do that like so much, like your brain just picks it up, and then like it's like encoded like in your head. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. Because it's like you learn new stuff every day, and then like you're kind of piecing everything together, and then it's just like
I think
it's like a skill set that you develop.
Yeah, I think general intelligence itself is marked a lot by like curiosity and stuff, and so I think it's a lot of like the big problem with a lot of education systems now is that like they don't let you apply yourself as much. Like there's not a lot of ways that you can when you're sitting there in a classroom and like you're looking at a sheet of paper, you know. Mm-hmm. So. Actually, I do kind of like want to bring to the table here. So, do you know Neil deGrasse Tyson? I think that's how you pronounce his name. I showed you him earlier.
Yeah, you did.
I've heard of the name.
Yeah. But he's like a huge. I think he's like an astrologist, but like he's just all around just like a very intelligent guy. I mean, he's just like curious about everything, but he's always like talking about space and just like I'm assuming he's really good at math too. But people are always wondering like what kind of person he would hire. Like if he were to start his own business, which I'm assuming he probably already has, the person that he would hire is the person who can use like a creative mindset, like critical thinking, and solve a problem. So he asked, like as an example, he asked, if how we could figure out the height of the Empire State Building. If he just like gave you a set of tools or whatever, however you could figure that out. So like a lot of people, you obviously could always look it up on the internet to say like, let's put that aside, and you can't use the internet, whatever. The person that would go out there, measure his own shadow, if it's sunny out, like measure your shadow, measure the shadow of the like Empire State Building, and then kind of like divide and go from there. That's the person that he said he would hire, is because that person critically thought and, kind of like gave or like used what was given to them. And at that point, it was just like their mind. And so they use like creativity to solve the problem. And so that he said that's the person that he would hire. And the thing that drives me nuts is like intelligence anymore is marked with the kind of people. A lot of it's book smart. And that's what drives me nuts is like that people don't have that curiosity to kind of go outside of that, learn something that's outside of their spectrum of like general knowledge that they have. So there's a lot of people that can tell me all these different things from like the books, like all this general knowledge of like geography and stuff, like where a certain place is located, what state it's next to or whatever. But I bet they couldn't tell me, I bet they haven't gone to the curiosity state of like looking up what color the sunset would be on Mars, which is blue. It's totally opposite of Earth. On Earth, our sunsets are like red and like orange and yellow, and there's all these really nice colors, whereas our general sky is blue. And on Mars, it's actually the opposite. Like the sky is generally red, the sunset's blue. And I'm not saying like that. That's just something.
Would that be the gases and the reflection from the gases?
It could be. I mean, I'm not sure what causes it. And like I would love to look more into that.
That would be interesting to look up.
It drives me crazy because a lot of these people are perceived to be like the most intelligent people ever. And I'm not bagging on them at all, because a lot of these people are like really intelligent with the stuff that they do really care about. But a lot of these people, that I've met that aren't exactly like into like the book smart stuff, as far as like math and stuff. Intelligence all around, there's like so many different types of intelligence, and I don't want the people who aren't into like the book smart kind of stuff to be degraded as like lesser intelligence. That stuff kind of drives me nuts, because I've met so many people that are just like street smart, and it amazes me of like how they like survive, like if it's like a traumatizing childhood experience or something.
Would you say that the school system kind of developed that?
They could have. It's indoctrination almost. I mean, they seriously like plug away at your mind, like teach you like the certain things. That
I feel like the world we've progressed so far, right? And we've progressed and progressed, but I feel like the only thing that has not progressed in a while, a long time, is the school system,
the education system.
The education system.
A lot of it's not even just like high school and all that. It's like colleges too.
Everything.
Yeah.
They need to find a new way of teaching, a new way of expressing different ways of knowledge, different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and everyone learns differently too. Like you may be like more hands-on.
Yeah.
learner.
Like they need to have more hands-on classes if the student needs that more of attention. That's the way they learn. Give them a way to learn on. Hands-on.
I think like creativity and like teaching that is the most important thing though, because like you said, not a lot of people seem to have that anymore, but like the most successful people like of our generation and generations before were like very like creative and like business owners and like business ideas and like things that took off. Like it could be like Twitter, like Snapchat, like it's just these like people that constantly think, and they're just constantly like pushing their barriers. It's critically thinking, and that's how you solve things. That's how new things are developed. That's how things evolve. That's how we get to like how we have iPhones now. We have like the iPhone X with face recognition.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It has no home button. Like my professor has it.
Have one of those.
No, so you have to like hold it up, and you have to like look at it and like get yourself. It's like it's like a girl like. They have like a mirror and they're like doing their makeup. Like, how did we get here? It's all from critically thinking though. Like it's like just pushing the barrier.
It's just the beginning though. How far? Like this is just the start of the face recognition. Where will we can advance off that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
security systems.
Yeah,
face recognition security systems
for
your houses.
So where do you guys think we're going to be in give it 10 years, 10 years from now? Where do you think we're going to be?
As far as technology or stuff? Are we going to have flying cars or
kind of stuff like that? Where do you think society is going to be?
Well, Tesla, you know how they came out with the self-driving semis?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of scary, though.
Right now, it is a little scary.
Aren't you paid if you're like
It's going to take away a lot of jobs.
No, if you're a driver, aren't you paid to drive? What? Do you still have to be behind the wheel?
Yeah, job security is going to go down the chute. I feel like once they start doing this more automated stuff.
I wouldn't trust it because every part of our history with technology, it has malfunctions. So you're driving that thing and it's not picking up that you need a brake, and then you end up crashing and dying, or you kill a bunch of people.
There was this video where so they have their own self-driving cars too, you know. Yeah. So even in the ones that you drive yourself, they have these automated features. So there's this one where they're steering it themselves, they're driving it themselves. But there's this automated system to where if you fall asleep or whatever, if you pass out at the wheel, that it notices that because I guess it has heat sensors on the wheel. So if your hands go limp and you fall off, then it slows down the car itself. And so I don't know if it detects a road and it'll turn for you while it's slowing down or what. But the scary thing about that is that it can leave you right in the middle of a highway or an interstate. Next thing you know, coming around the corner, a semi doesn't see you and just smacks you.
Yeah.
You could also fall off the road though. If it didn't sense that. So it's kind of a toss up. Always.
Yeah.
What about that self-parking, that lot of car, that new feature?
That's scary too.
If you're in a tight spot, they have sensors and it'll just guide you in itself, and they'll control the car itself will control the steering wheel.
If it has a malfunction and then you just plow into the car.
Yeah, but if it has a malfunction, the company can get sued. So the fact is the company has made multiple crash tests, different. They've obviously thought of that probably, and they wouldn't put it into the public if it wasn't going to affect their company in a negative way. So, they've probably done multiple tests so the malfunctions wouldn't happen, you think? Or,
But you have, companies that have to do recalls for, some things, and it's just, they deny it at first and say it's not an issue, trust us, and then all of a sudden, more and more of it keeps happening, and then you're like, okay, maybe we need to change that because we have these self-driving
it's a lot
cars that are killing people.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial by fire kind of stuff. There's trial and error, I guess.
It's definitely a cool idea. Maybe for you driving personally, but I don't think for the job force. No, you don't want to lose that.
I always thought it'd be kind of interesting if they end up getting these robots or whatever to end up doing our jobs for us. If the people who became are actually rich and stuff and have the money to get their own robot or whatever, if they sent them to work, if they could get paid for that, and so they would have more free time while the thing that they bought is going to work for them. Yeah. What if society reached that point so that rich people are getting even better benefits because they're rich versus the people who actually have to work for a living and have to get their money?
Did you see
the way that this society is going?
You see I forget what country it is, but they're really popular. There's sex robots.
Yeah,
I saw this thing on this channel, and it was this old dude who ordered a sex doll, and he's cuddling it, and they're sitting in a park or something, and then she says something tells a joke, whatever's embedded in her system, and then he starts cracking up, and you're like, this dude is a freak.
Yeah,
he's so intrigued.
Some weird people, man, that come up with that stuff.
Yeah, he's so intrigued, and he just thought this joke from this sex robot doll was hilarious. That's creepy, dude. You have to be so lonely to get one of those.
I was listening to the radio on the way to work. What was it, last week, I think? And they were talking about how sex robots are becoming more of a thing recently, and that they're designing them, and they're talking about how in 10 years potentially people will start marrying the robots and stop having girlfriends. They were having a conversation would that actually happen?
Yeah.
Well,
they have robot babies.
It's as weird as that sounds. They were talking about that.
I was speaking about that whole baby thing you just brought up. Did you see that thing on the news where they actually have a robot citizen somewhere? No. The first robot citizen. I can't remember where the place is, but there's an actual robot
in the United States.
Yeah. So look it up. There's this robot citizen elsewhere, and she can respond to you if you talk to her and stuff. I think her name's It starts with an S, I'm pretty sure, like Sarah? Something.
I might have heard about her, actually.
This robot, I think they're like in a courtroom or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the video, but I read the article. She has already responded that she wants a baby.
What's her name?
What?
Yeah, this robot said she wants a baby.
Is
I
this
don't know.
Sophia?
Sophia, maybe. I know it starts with an S.
Sophia.
So, like, the back of her head's like robotic. Like, the face is like a human, though. Looks fake.
See this.
But they were talking to this robot, and she said she wants a baby. So that's weird. So he's looking it up right now, and he's just like totally tripping.
I think you're ready.
Found a video.
I'm gonna have to put it in there.
Oh my
Let me see this.
Hi, Sophia.
I haven't even looked at it myself.
I believe I am Sophia.
Oh, that's her.
I feel as if I know you.
I'm one of your creators.
Nice.
You created me.
But I do believe we should probably start wrapping this up. We're at 45 minutes now.
Oh.
And it's getting past our welcome here, so.
We'll have to cut some out.
So
it's 9 o'clock.
But anyway, Joey, I just want to thank you for coming on our podcast here. It's been a tremendous honor to have you on here.
What's going on with your hair? Your hair's really crazy right now.
I just told him I honored him for coming on. He's making fun of my
I
hair.
appreciate
Bro, just take a compliment, man.
Yeah, you don't gotta be so freaking awkward about
I
it.
feel very honored.
Fire back at me.
It was a lot of
Your
fun.
hair.
It was really fun.
Your hair is
weird.
It's like your stash, man.
My stash?
Yeah.
My
it's like
stash.
part of
Bro,
you.
what happened to your lip right there, man?
Yeah, man. Is that herpes?
It's a cold sore.
Oh, no.
I've gotten
Who you been kissing, man?
Dude, I haven't been kissing no one, man.
You been licking your dog's butthole?
Bruna!
Not this week. No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
But before.
Tomorrow.
The week before,
Getting into a rough patch.
A little rough patch. But
Yeah.
no, I've
I
got
took some edibles and I got lost.
Ever since I was a little kid, I've gotten these. So I think my mom blames my dad. That's weird.
Sounds like a medical problem.
So, Joey, if you had one message to leave the viewers with after they watch this podcast, a lasting image, what would you have to say? Could be a quote, could be a phrase. Just
don't do drugs.
Train your brain just like you train your muscles. So your brain can get more developed.
That's a good way of putting it, actually. I like
Joey
that.
McGuire, everyone.
The prophet of our generation, Joseph McGuire. Again, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you guys.
It's good having you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man.
Hopefully we'll see you again in the future.
Oh yeah, invite me back.
Big things coming.
Invite me back. I will be here. I do not have my own podcast.
He might at some point, though.
One day.
Same
One
goes for
day.
you guys, though. We hope to see you back next time. We're looking to get more guests on here. So if you're interested, maybe you can hit us up. And we can kind of look around our schedule here, see who all we can get on here. So thank you guys very much. Cole, got any parting words?
I just want to say that watch this video and share it with your friends and tell your parents and tell your grandparents.
Tell the world.
Again, it helps us out tremendously.
Yeah, we want to spread out the word, man. We just want
Get
people
our
to hear
faces
what we have
out
to
there.
say. Yeah, I just want people to hear what we have to say. But regardless, grateful.
We're interested.
See you guys next time.
We out here.